on my way, Thursday when I was on my way to knock up to Indiana for that drop, dispatch calls me and was like, hey, did you ever set up that time with Ryder to take your truck in for your maintenance? And I'm like, darn it, I couldn't remember if you had told me that, or if I got another one of those emails where I got looped into an email chain where they were thinking I was somebody else. And they're like, nope, I was telling you about it. I'm like, no, because I didn't realize. But I was like, all right, but I can call and figure it out. She's like, you do that. So this is where the infamous Ryder, like, Ryder's awesome in the way they it's a rental company. My company leases trucks for them. I'm in a Ryder truck. They take care of me. I'll put it that way. They take care of me. But I called Thursday and was asking about doing a Friday drop. And this was before I did the math and figured out how late it would be that I was going to be running Friday. So originally I was like, hey, I need to set up a Friday drop for a truck, and I need to know what it's supposed to be getting, because all I know is I was told it needed PMs. And of course, the guy on the phone was like, truck number, company name, blah, blah, blah. He's like, all right, let me put you on hold. And I'm guessing this is a new guy. He had a really heavy accent. He was kind of hard to understand. And I was like, man, I wish I'd got my normal guy to talk to. Because it's funny, there in Laverne at the Ryder, there's a guy that normally works the counter for check-in. His name's Josh. But I swear he could be Brandon Herrera, AK guy's brother. Like, they wouldn't be identical twins, but they'd be enough that you'd do a double take. Because I've done it every time I see him. I do a double take. Fuck, looks just like Brandon Herrera. Well, not just like it, but enough that it gets me. And this guy talking to me, and he's like, all right, well, it needs this, and this. And I'm like, okay, is that something you're going to be able to get done between Friday and Monday? And he's like, let me ask. Counter guys don't usually know time for things. They can just look up what things need. And then he's like, no, that's going to be like a day or two process for all that to get done. I'm like, okay. Well, then I need to line up a sub truck. I need a auto sleeper. And he's like, all right, give me just a second, put you on hold. He puts me on hold. And then he comes back and he's like, did you say a sleeper? And I'm like, yes. And he's like, ugh. I'm like, are you going to have one? And he's like, I'm going to have to call the rental department and figure out what we have. Because I'm guessing, whatever. Well, I got the gist that he wasn't going to be able to get me one. So I'm like, you know what? How about this? I've got to be in Murfreesboro Monday morning at 8 to do a drop. How about I just come by Monday after my drop at 8 and do swap the truck then? That way, y'all have got time to find one. I'm not rushing to get home, because like y'all are 2 hours past where I live. So I mean, it's gonna be an extra 4 hours for me to try to drive on Friday. So let me just reschedule that for Monday morning. I'll drop off the truck, pick up the sub truck, I can get out of there. And he's like, all right, that works. Let's do that. And I called dispatch, and like, all right, if you've got it worked out, it's cool. So all that's worked out. Sorry for all this drawn out, but hey, I'll explain my week and how much fun I've been having. So I get up bright and early, 4 a.m. Monday, because I have to drop my trailer at one spot and I drive my truck home. Now that I have a place I can park it, and it's not like a landlord. It's like, it's my house. I'm buying it. I'm paying on it. So I can do what the fuck I want. So get up 4 a.m. I'm out of my house by 5:30. I know. Yeah, 5. I'm out of there by 5. I get up to where I park my trailer. I hook up. I'm going through, doing all my double checks, making sure I got everything I'm going to need. And just because whenever I get a sub truck with Ryder, if anybody knows Ryder, they never have refrigerators. They never have microwaves. They occasionally, you'll luck out and you'll get one that has an inverter in it. So I have to have a CPAP, so I have to make sure that I grab my little inverter that's enough to run my CPAP, and then maybe power a TV. Like it's a small one, but it's enough that I can run stuff without worrying too much, as long as it's not like a microwave or something. And so I was getting all my stuff together in the truck, go ahead and made my pile. Okay, this is what I need to take when I go to the truck, which I'm in it now. I'm in a sub truck. Luckily, it was Cascadia. First time I got a Cascadia for a sub truck. I'm like, hey, cool. I know how it rides, I know how it runs, I don't have to worry about figuring out buttons. I just gotta go through and kind of get things situated and comfortable like my truck normally is. And I get to Ryder at like 9 o'clock because I got to my appointment at 7. They got me in. I was leaving by 8:30. So I was out of there just after my original appointment time because I got there early. Because there was 2 spots that looked like I could be offloading. I get to Ryder. I go in. I'm like, hey, I'm the blah, blah, blah. I'm here to do a truck drop off and sub truck pickup for this company. And they look at me like they have no clue what I'm talking about. And I'm like, I was afraid this was going to happen. I say this in my head. Because every time I have to do something with Ryder and I try to call ahead to make things run smoother, it does me no good. And the funny thing is the guy at the counter that I was talking to when I walked in was the guy I talked to on the phone on Thursday. And he's acting like he has no clue why I'm there. And I'm like, hey, I was the guy that called in on Thursday about dropping a truck off and getting a sub truck. And then he's like, oh, okay. Like he had no clue who I was. And then he's like, well, let me get your name and your truck number and this and that, and we'll go from there. I'm like, okay, truck number, blah 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 blah. So I'm gonna shorten this up and go ahead and give you the juicy part of the story. I sat at Ryder from about 9 a.m. to about 4:30 before I got a truck. Yeah. Because, as they put it, the trucks they had, or they said the truck they had available for me was dirty and had to be cleaned. Which, I'll vouch for it. I got in this truck, it was a little dirty. And apparently, like, this was a long-term lease truck for another company. Because this truck's got, not only does it have an inverter, it's got an APU, it's got a headache rack on the back, and the airlines and pigtail set up for flatbed. And I'm pretty sure it's got aluminum wheels, which is kind of nice and pretty looking. And disc brakes. And I'm like, wow. Which I can say, these disc brakes are pretty nice. They don't have the catch and release like drums, because I've had to lay on the brakes a little bit this morning because of traffic in Nashville. Yeah, so I get the truck about 4:30. And what does it do? It starts pouring rain. So I'm swapping stuff over in the rain. Luckily, I'll show you all this later. My baby, my sweet baby Devin, my fiance, we're getting married soon after 5 years. Didn't feel like 5 years, but 5 years nonetheless. She heard what was going to go on and how things were going to work, and she knows how it is when I get sub trucks. She went online and she ordered me a 12-volt fridge, cooler, whatever you want to call it. And it showed up Saturday before I left Monday morning. And she was like, I know you've been wanting one of these. I know money's a little tight, but this just proved that we needed one for you to have. So that was my Valentine's gift from Devin. She bought me a 12-volt cooler, fridge, whatever it is. Like, it's actually got the compressor in it to actually keep things cold. Like, it'll try to get it down to freezing. So I'm pretty sure that makes it a refrigerator. And that's what I'm running on this week. So she was actually able to pack me food, and I didn't have to try to eat on the road all week. And it's pretty cool. It's a 59 quart. It'll hold like 2 24 packs of soda with room to spare. It'll hold 4 or 5 2-liters. It's got a double pocket. It's got one for like, that almost does like a freezer section that'll get a little colder than the other. It's got an app that I can use to adjust the temperature or just maintain it when it's sitting in the bag. It's really nice. I'm probably going to do a review video on that. It's one of those duo AC-DC kind of things where I can use a wall plug or I can use a 12-volt plug. So this is definitely an investment for like when we start going camping and whatnot. It's like, I'm not necessarily going to want to go camping, but like, we like to go on adventures, I'll put it that way. I keep wanting to plan a Windrock run for like a weekend getaway, and this will make that even easier, because then we won't have to worry about a cooler with ice. We'll be able to just plug this into the cigarette lighter, and we'll be able to take food and everything else. And okay, well back to the fiasco. This is gonna be a long video. I'm trying to keep this one short, but I'm long-winded, and this isn't helping. And then after I get all that situated, my company or Ryder uses a ELD log system for their loaner truck, so that companies don't have to worry about their drivers using paper logs. Which, don't get me started with paper logs. If you're for paper logs, I don't care. You can have your fucking paper logs. Work smarter, not harder. Okay, that's all I gotta say. Well, it uses Geotab. If you've ever heard of Geotab, it's an app you can put on your phone. It's got a thing under the dash somewhere. Well, apparently the Geotab was fucked up, and it was still tied to another company that had this truck before, so they had to fiddle with it. That took like another 2 or 3 hours, because none of the techs knew where the shit was. None of the techs knew what it looked like. They had to call Geotab and figure that out. They ended up having to put a new one in the truck. And then they verified that Geotab was seeing it. Ryder could see it, so they could see my GPS location. But my app that you use for it wasn't seeing the truck. Like, it registered that the truck number that I gave it was a valid truck number for the system. It just couldn't see the truck's physical location through its GPS tablet or puck thing that they have in the truck. So I was stuck at Ryder. By the time I got my truck, called into dispatch, like, hey, I just got my truck. They're finalizing some stuff. What do you want me to do? And dispatcher was like, this late in the day, we're not going to find you anything. Go ahead and find the spot to park for the night. We'll get you going in the morning. Because I was still running on my original clock. And by the time I got my truck, I had like 4 hours left. And then trying to keep track of that clock while running a different clock. I've had to do it once or twice before. It's a real pain in the ass. But it worked out. I just sat at Ryder's overnight, parked in the truck, getting used to this one, having to adjust some things. Whoever had this truck, for whatever company it was with, had a pretty nice setup. They made a wall mount for TV work at the foot of the bed. They left their microwave in here, but I'm guessing it's junk. Left some odds and ends. Left air lines and straps in the side box. Or a Glad Hand tire air filler in the side box. Oh, this truck's got TPUs, tire pressure sensor, or TPS. So I could see what the tire pressures are. That was cool. I've not seen that on big rigs. Or at least none of the ones I had were new. This is a 2020 Cascadia, just like mine. Yeah, no, there's no fridge. And it's got an APU. It's a Thermal King APU, so it's got that set up. So, like, however that works, I had to be shown how to work that thing. And then the heat's not working. The last couple nights it's been, like, in the freezing, and I'm wanting a little bit of heat, but I looked up all the videos on how to use the heat and how you don't really want the blower on because the heat only comes out of one vent. The heat's not working at all. So, shucks for her. That's great for having an APU on a truck. So I've just been idling the truck like I normally do because that's not putting out heat. And then, other than that, I've been running like normal. I left Tuesday morning, ran up to Paris, Kentucky, picked up one of those loads going to Blue Springs, Mississippi. Got to Franklin last night, parked, which that was a fun experience, backing into a parking spot with this truck because I wasn't used to it. That, and I've got the spinny knob on my handle to make backing up a lot easier, so I'm having to hand over hand. And then don't get me started with this the steering wheels in these trucks, the rubber they're made out of gets so fucking just funky nasty. Like, one side's got some kind of sticky residue from the rubber melting or something, and the other side's just leaving black marks on my hand. Yeah, so I'm on my way to Blue Springs, Mississippi. Over here on Highway 125 from Jackson, Tennessee. I've made this trip a couple times now. It's not a bad run. It's definitely a run that I don't know how they want people to pick up anywhere from 3 to 6 in the afternoon and make a delivery the next day at between 7 and 8 in the morning. Because that wasn't happening. Even if I tried to drive through the night and got there like midnight and just parked there and done my reset, I didn't have the time going from Nashville to Paris, Kentucky, and then all the way down to Blue Springs, Mississippi. That wasn't happening. So I parked in Franklin, Kentucky last night. And it gave me about 4.5 hours. And then, of course, I hit traffic going into Nashville. Apparently there was an accident this morning, and that ate up 30 minutes. So that put me at 5 hours getting down here. Then I had to stop for fuel. So yeah, my 4 hours turned into like 5.5. But hey, I've been driving non-stop since I started this morning. No extra stops, no extra lollygagging. The only way I can see this run working is like if you started your day in Lexington up by Paris, Kentucky, and you did the run through the night, or you were already starting your day somewhere earlier in the day there locally, like you just did a delivery and you were doing a pickup, and like you were ending your day up there and you were shutting down like right after you did your pickup and then you got up. Or maybe a split might have worked, which not really sure how you do splits for, like, you shut down for like 7 hours. Like, I've done the split where I sat for 2, I signed that to sleeping berth and got my time back. I've not done the one where you shut down for like 7 or 8 hours, get your time back, and then you just do like a 2 or 3 hour break later in the day to get your full time back. I've not done that one, so I'm still not sure how that works. But yeah, so I've had all kinds of fun. All kinds of fun for the last 2 weeks. And I'm definitely feeling this OTR market because my miles have been shit and my checks have been even more shit. I'm starting to feel the hurt, which doesn't help that I just bought a house. I'm doing the speed limit. There ain't no reason you need to pass me on a 2-lane road. Patiently. Yeah. That's my little, we'll say, last month update, because it's been a minute since I updated anything, or did anything. I might actually break this into 2, so it's not a whole hour-long video. I got a new RC. I've acquired a new RC. I'm still working on finished paying for it through a buddy. Kind of wheeling dealing. I think I talked about it. I don't remember if I showed it. Well, I'll put it this way. It's a ripper. Like, it... I understand why people like the big bashers. I'll put it that way. I'm definitely going to have to do some work to it, but the parts are not cheap for this one, considering just the lower A-arms, if I want to go metal, are $70 for a pair. So that means that's $140 for a full set of aluminum A-arms for this car. Which I did aluminum with my Slash, and it worked out pretty good because the Traxxas bashers are notorious for the A-arms for sagging if you don't have them supported right. Well, I'm not the guy that's going to jump this thing over houses or bash it into things. I'm the kind of guy, I just like to zip it around. I like to do I like to treat it like those little like backyard derby race kind of cars. I think it's cool that it's bigger, because where I want to take it, it's all rutted up from four-wheelers and stuff, and it'll be able to handle that. That and it's four-wheel drive. Yeah, I'm pretty sure if I'm strategic with my metal part replacements, I'll be good. I may have to settle for just doing a factory or a stock replacement plastic parts for now. But that is, the aluminum A-arms is definitely a goal. And hey, I think I've posted my Cash App. I may need to post my PayPal too. If anybody wants to throw money towards the RC stuff. I'm not big enough to monetize, and I'm nowhere near enough to get the paid cash comments or whatever. But hey, if anybody likes my RC stuff and they want to help me do more, there's that. Hope I'm not coming across like I'm begging. Just RC is expensive. Like, you think for a hobby that's quote unquote a toy, but no, good lord. Hobbies, there's a reason most people have one hobby. Because between my RCs, wanting to do off-road stuff with my Ranger, or eventually get a Jeep, and wanting to get some kind of shooting range set up at my house, because now that I have property, I can do that. Parts are expensive, ammo's expensive, everything's expensive. So, yeah. Talk to y'all later.